gonna have to come to terms with the fact that I'm never allowed to go back to Jordan. It's like, this is it. Like, if we do this, if we do Instagram, if we're public, like, I'm never going back. How much torment I was going through to even say the words I'm gay made me feel sick. Like, I was like, I can't even say it. Because even my dad now, I never thought we'd get to the place where we're at. Basically, a little poor gay boy in Jordan, and then like the whole time I obviously knew I was gay but didn't know what that meant. So like, you know, I think we spoke about it a little bit, like I'd watch Buffy, like Angel, and then as we got a little bit older and the option to move to England arose because my mum's English, and they were like, I'm in an iron about it. And I remember so distinctly being at my nan's flat in England, and I heard them have the conversation. I ran into her room because my mum and dad were there, and I was like, please, can we move? It's going to be amazing. Please. Like, I begged them to move. And thank God they did, because I feel like this situation that I'm in right now would have fucking sucked if I was still there.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I feel like I would have eventually come to England anyway. Like, I feel like I would have come to England at uni and stayed maybe. Excuse me. And so then, so that experience was fine. I was petrified of being gay. I was petrified of coming out. I was so fucking scared that no one could ever find out. And I used to like sneakily speak to gay people online. Can't really remember the websites, but they weren't like, you know, like the ones that we know now.
Yeah, like Grindr.
It wasn't that, no. And then, and I spoke to people, and then I was like, oh my God, what am I actually going to do? Like, I got to like 18 or 19. I was like, what am I actually going to do? Like, am I just going to marry a woman? Like, am I going to have to just lie for the whole of my... Like, what am I going to really do?
That's an interesting part as well, because I feel like people who are brought up in the West, there's always this thing of like, well, your family should accept it. They should get over it, without understanding the culturally different.
I was always very patient with the family. And I was always very patient with my dad specifically, because yes, it's all well and good. I didn't choose this. Like, fuck you, accept me. Like, this is not my problem. But you can't, like, there's so much history there. You're talking about a 50, 60-year-old man, or even people who've been brought up in a specific religion, culture. They can't get over it that quick. Like, it's not really
English
fair
parents struggle. So if you're talking
to
about...
expect it like that quick is it's a bit harsh. But I just remember it being like a big secret. It weighed on me a lot. I feel like I'm naturally an anxious person anyway. I'm not going to blame that on anxiety, like disorders or whatever. Like, I think I was always a little bit of like an anxious person, but that definitely didn't help. And then it got to a point where I was like, no, I don't want to marry a woman. I don't think it's fair on the woman. I had like a person who I was interested in, a girl that I was interested in. We never dated, and we never kissed, we never got in a relationship. I really loved her though, as like a friend. And I was like, she's so intelligent, she's so smart, she's so like fun and quirky and funky. And I really liked her, and I thought I fancied her at school. She wasn't interested because I was fat probably. And then and then we get to the point where she's now interested in me. And I was like, this is your perfect woman. Like, this was my perfect woman in my head at the time. And you're not interested.
Can you tell me the name and we'll bleep it out? Ah, okay.
And I was like, this is the perfect woman. And I was like, if I'm not interested in you, like, there's just no way, like, that I'm going to be able to maintain a relationship and get married and have kids with a woman. Because she was so my vibe. Her mind, especially. And so we were, like, obviously, like, seeing each other more, flirting, whatever. But we never got together and we never did anything. And before we got to that point, she was one of the first people I told.
Okay.
Because I was like, I can sense she's getting feelings for me, which I literally dreamt of. Like, I literally prayed that she'd get feelings for me.
Yeah.
And so when she did, and I was like, I should be more excited about this.
Yeah.
And
I
was like,
wrong?
I owe it to her. I need to tell her. And then I was like, that's not fair on her. Like, she's an intelligent, beautiful woman. Like, she deserves to be happy and find someone who actually wants her. Like, I'm not going to put her through
rather
that
than
for
me
my
giving half of myself.
Yeah.
But then probably just cheating on her with a guy later on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I told her. She didn't actually take it well, which I was a little bit, I'm not going to lie, pissed off about, I think. I was pissed off because I was like, I'm going through this. Like, this is my thing. Like, I've got this secret. I've got this Arab family. I've got this, like, big thing that I have to deal with, and you're upset because I'm gay. I understood it to an extent, but I just thought, this isn't about you, actually. Like, I'm telling you out of respect. I've not kissed you. I've not dated you. Like, I've purposely not done those things. So why are you angry? I'm telling you before that happens.
Yeah.
And she said, I loved you and whatever. And I get that. Obviously, that's horrible, but that's not really my fault.
Yeah.
Like, it's not my issue. So then that kind of annoyed me, that reaction, and I was a bit disappointed with it. And it made me realise that no matter how intelligent she was still a white English girl that didn't really get the culture and didn't really get how big of a deal this was and how much torment I was going through. To even say the words "I'm gay" made me feel sick. Like I was like, I can't even say it.
Yeah.
We went out for dinner afterwards. And she was better about it. Like, she was nice. She was like, you know, I get it. I'm just a bit like sad. She's like, I thought you were going to tell me you're engaged to someone in like Jordan because I'd just come back from Jordan. And I was like, no, like, this is the situation, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And that made me realize, I was like, right, I need to come out to people. This is who I am. I live here now. Like, I can't live my life like this. So then I slowly told family members, and everyone was supportive, pretty much. And that shocked me. And so a little bit of me does want to give a cautious piece of advice to people struggling to come out with the background or without the background, whatever, is people aren't actually going to react as bad as you think. And I've seen a lot of people say that, and a lot of people have, like, obviously I've had bad experiences 100%, but I mean, I won't go into them, but they weren't good, definitely. But there is a lot more good, like a lot more people were like,
people,
yeah.
And it's obviously
one of them's right here.
Every family is going to be different, and some people have obviously gone through experiences where they've been disowned, they're not part of the family, and the difference a little bit with you is you have like a mixed background.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you're not fully in Jordan. But I do feel that, yeah, people can surprise you and people can give you a reaction which you're like, I never thought it'd be to this extent. The
Honestly,
fact that me and you go to Jordan together.
Yeah, exactly. This is the thing, like, it's
like,
such
that's
a big,
so unusual.
such a big thing, because loads of people surprised me. Loads of people were like, I was like, wow, I did not expect this to be a reaction. Genuinely, like, cousins in Jordan, I was like, I'm never going to tell. I'm going to have to come to terms with the fact that I'm never allowed to go back to Jordan. Like, I
remember the conversation, yeah.
I set myself up. I was like, this is it. Like, if we do this, if we do Instagram, if we're public, like, I'm never going back. So many of them have been way more than supportive, and like way more than I realized how supportive they have been. And even friends that I was worried about that I told were a lot more supportive than I thought they would be.
Yeah.
So advice is that people might shock you. There might be some shitheads there for sure, that there is, but don't think you know too much, because even my dad now, like, I never thought we'd get to the place where we're at now. Like, ever in my wildest dream. I never thought I'd have my cousin sat here while I'm recording a podcast about being gay with my fiance. Like, these things these things are like wild. And I know there's shit talk behind my back, and I know there's people that have opinion. Like, I'm not stupid. I know, like, there's rude stuff
it's
being
not all
said,
hunky-dory.
but I don't care, because the people that I love are there. So I don't really care about, like, all the other shit. Yeah, I'm a gay boy. Get over it.
And the interesting thing as well is, on the flip side of that, I remember there's a couple of stories you've told me of, like, certain people that you've, like, gone on a date with in the Middle East, in, like, maybe like Abu Dhabi or Dubai or Jordan, and how their lives differ. Because I'll never forget, you told me that you went on a date with a guy and you were just sat in the car talking, and he was in Abu Dhabi? I don't think he was from Abu Dhabi, though.
Did he take me to a random place? And I was like, why am I here?
Yeah, like, oh, where am I? And I think you guys had, like, a chat about, like, being gay, and I don't think he recognized that he was gay. And he was kind of like, well, I'm just going to marry a girl.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that is so common, where people who are gay, like, in different countries where religion is very prominent, which is a bit different to the West, where even though they kind of know or have a hint that they're gay, like, they know
they can't admit
this is
themselves.
never in the society, unless I move out.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go down the traditional route.
Yeah. And that's fair. That's survival.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, it sounds weird for, like, a Western English audience to hear that, but it's either that or...
Like, you can't be openly...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, fair enough.
And there's also, like, I feel like a bit of a pull in you, because it's like, do I be authentic to myself? Do I go down this route and fall in love?
Authenticity in Asian countries is literally underneath the shit of the sheep and the donkeys and the camels. Like, authenticity means a fucking jack shit. No one's going to be like, I want to be my authentic self. Like, that is such a privileged Western thing. Like, no one would ever put that above what other people think, what their family think, or what's traditionally acceptable. Like, authenticity is, like, the bottom of the list. Like, that is not... No one's going to be like, should I be my authentic self? Or should I... Please, like, that just wouldn't happen. Like,
It's like, this is the way it has to be.
Yeah, 100. Yeah, there's no choice. Like, there's no either leave or like, yeah, there's not really much of a choice. Like background.
Do you think it'll ever
shagging.
change?
Probably, yeah. I mean, it already is kind of changing, but
Like, how accepted do you think it can be?
it can be anything. This is the
religion?
thing. We'll never know because the way people react. That's what I mean. Like, you can never really tell with the new generation what it will be like. Still a long time, obviously. You can still be like killed, but like, you never know what the future holds. Because I never thought Saudi would be allowing women to drive in my lifetime, or not having the religious police smack people on the head when they're not covering their hair and stuff. So you never know. Like, anything's possible. Dreams are possible.
It'll be interesting.
Dreams are made of. Yeah.